all the money that he's working. I'm gonna get hit by a fucking car. That's what's gonna happen here. Hey, what's going on, guys? I want to make one last video today. This is the first time I've shot 3 in one day, I think, in a very long time. You can't even see me because the sun. Alright, let me try and put it over here. Anyways, so I want to shoot this video because there's a guy that I'm working with who has a problem that most people do have. And what it is they're escaping. So the way that this is manifesting in his life is that he's on some form of a welfare system where he's relatively taken care of, and he does not necessarily have to make that much money to be able to survive. So what happens is that, you know, he uses the food stamps, he uses the welfare system, and you know, he doesn't have a fire under his ass. So what he does is he is just able to kind of float along, and you know, he works here or there kind of as a like a contractor for a friend of his business and stuff. And you know, some days when he doesn't make any money, what does he do? He plays video games all day. And he's a relatively new person that I'm working with. And what happens is that for him, all right, we as humans, we are motivated by whatever at the time is what we see the highest value in, okay? So by him playing video games all day, that means that he is placing a higher value on video games than fixing his life or getting himself to any heights of which he actually wants to achieve. And what he constantly brings up is that he'll start projects and he doesn't follow them through, and he doesn't, you know, make sure that he's going forward in life. He's kind of stagnant. And that's why the welfare system is very broken, guys, because what happens is that you look at the lion and the gazelle gets motivated by being chased by the lion, right? A gazelle is never going to run as fast as they do until, how you doing? Until, yeah, he could really hear me. The gazelle is not going to run as fast as he can until the lion's chasing it. So until there is a lion chasing this guy, he's not going to get up off his ass and really get things done. So the welfare system creates a whole bunch of gazelles walking around without lions to chase them, and creates stagnicity in people's lives because they don't have to do anything anymore to survive. And then they hit status quo and they just kind of stay where they are in life, and they don't really move up because they get used to depending on, I mean, it's the same thing when you grew up, depending on your parents, depending on mommy and daddy to take care of you. Now you're depending on the government to take care of you. What is the real difference? Technically, he has nothing but opportunity right now because he is being taken care of by welfare and he's working under the table. He could really be banking a lot of money. I mean, you know, if we put aside any issues in terms of what's right and wrong to do, if he were to take the time and put all the money that he's working, I'm gonna get hit by a fucking car. That's what's gonna happen here. If he were to take all the money that he's making under the table, plus the fact that he's being provided for, he could take all of that money, he could start investing in whether it's his education or maybe a business idea that he's got. He does have a business idea that we've been discussing, but he has to find this motivation from within, because unless he's willing to cut the welfare out of his life and really set a fire under his ass, which is one way to do it, he's going to stay stagnant. So I just want to make this video to explain why he's playing these video games. He's not happy in his life. He's single. He, you know, obviously he doesn't have that much money. He's kind of just getting by. You know, his car is not in the best of shape. You know, he's just got a whole bunch of things that don't make him that happy. Playing those video games is never going to get him out of the situations that he's in. But when you are operating on the primal brain is what some would call basic, others would call it the reptilian brain. The more basic primal operating system that you are operating on is going to tell you that, I apologize, I'm getting sidetracked. The way that the brain works is that it is wired for your survival, not for your happiness. I'm going to make a whole video about that later, but your brain is wired for what feels good right now. That's why the more you have not evolved yourself and matured, oftentimes the more you're just going to want to just hook up with people and not have long-term relationships. The more that you're going to want to spend your money on stupid things instead of investing in yourself and your future and growing yourself, or watching shows that do absolutely nothing for you instead of watching something that grows your mind and all that kinds of stuff. So anyways, he's operating on the pleasure-seeking aspects of the brain, and by throwing in a video game, it transports him into a place where he's vicariously able to interact and enjoy a life, essentially. Because remember, we experience whatever we look at. He's able to vicariously get into a life that is far more exciting than his own. Now, the value that he's placing upon the video games is taking him away from ever doing anything in his personal life to further himself. So, what he has to do, and what is very difficult for him, is shut off the games and really take a good hard look at his life. Feel how miserable he is in his life. Because when you can sit there and you can force yourself to experience these feelings in these dark, deep places of the psyche that we push down and we repress, all the cobwebs and the spiders and the negative thoughts and the, broken dreams and broken relationships and negative emotions that we've experienced in life that have put us into circumstances that we currently live in that we do not want to be in. When you don't experience those, you got to think about it like a child who really wants to tell you something. Your mind-body connection wants to tell you something with the feelings that you're experiencing. And when you refuse to experience those by pushing them down and repressing them, whether it's from alcohol or drugs or video games or whatever stimulus you're using to escape your problems are just going to grow like a child who wants to tell you something, and he's bouncing around and he wants to tell you, and he's coming out of he just wants to tell you like what's going on. He's coming out of his skin, and you don't listen to him. So what's going to happen is that child gets more and more and more upset, and the same thing with your emotions. You're going to experience them fuller and fuller, and eventually they're going to permeate into your life no matter what you're doing, no matter if you're trying to escape or not. And when that happens, well, you got a ton of work to do at that point, because you've let it fester to the point of where nothing gets your mind off them. So what has to be done is he has to totally forget about video games, and he has to sit, look around his life, get completely and utterly in the moment. He's probably going to end up crying. He's probably going to end up frustrated, extremely depressed, very sad, tell you that. He's going to end up angry. He's going to feel a lot of negativity, because he's going to be forced to not have a stimulus to take his mind off things and have to experience in its fullness the emotions that he's been repressing for a long time. When he does this, actually, if he doesn't do this, there's no cure at all. The cure does not come in the form of a bottle, antidepressants, pills, whatever it is that people are using to escape, because a lot of the psychiatric drugs, that's all they are. They're just a pharmaceutical grade form of an escape. It doesn't let you experience it. This is the only way to fix your problems. You have to face all of your problems. You have to literally shut off whatever stimulus it is, and this guy is going to have to sit there and experience probably years of, the pain body, and it's going to well up in him, and it's probably going to overtake him and make him extremely upset. But if he doesn't do that, it's going to get worse to the point where he's going to experience it whether he likes it or not. So anyways, guys, escaping is not going to work. Don't escape your problems. Face your problems. And when it comes down to this fellow, he can absolutely get better. Most people can get better, if not all of them. It just really takes the internal drive to decide, you know what, I hate the way the things are right now. I hate my life. And you get to a point where you have to change because that fire is growing underneath you. And without changing, I mean, you're going to stay absolutely stuck in your life, and you're not going to go anywhere. So face your problems and shut off the video games. Talk to you soon. Oh, just a quick point about the video games. In the video game, you are playing somebody oftentimes who is established, or someone who's coming from the bottom and making his way towards the top and overcoming challenges and making everything, work in his life despite whatever is being faced. You're a hero. You're the champion of the world in boxing. You're all these great things, because that's what we want to feel as a people. We want to feel that we're great. The problem is that it's a pseudo reality where your own reality just continues to fall away and break into shambles when you're not cultivating your actual reality, your real life. This sun is in my eyes so badly, it's incredible right now. Oh yeah, lean back. Anyways, that's why video games are so attractive. They give you a life that is what you want. You want to be a hero. You want to rescue the girl. You want to, be this big deal that's talked about in towns and all this kinds of stuff. Become that in your own life. Become a hero to yourself in your own life. Then you're not going to need these stimuluses that actually, in all reality, are really hurting you. So